Before moving to the topic, let's see an example for pure function. So this program I've run in Python. This is a Python program. Here def is a keyword function. Start with the keyword of def. Greater is my function name. Here x and y both are parameters. Function must ends with colon. Colon means here indentation. Indentation starts here. Indentation means next block we are going to start. And next here I am checking the condition x is greater than y. Here I am calling the function greater of 49, 4 as a value of the variable of x and y. Here the 49 assumed to x and 4 assumed to y. Now checking 49 greater than 4, condition true. So the first statement will be printed. Here I called 2 times. 2 times I have called this. Here the function variable not affected by any other variable. So it is called pure function. When I run the program, both time I am getting the same output only. 49 is greater, 49 is greater. Here the function variable not affected by any other variables. So it is called pure function. Let's recollect what is function. A function is a small block of code which is usually defined within a greater code structure. This we already discussed in previous class. Now coming to the pure function. A function is said to be a pure function when it returns the same output for the same input. Now let's read this paragraph. Pure functions are function which will give exact result when the same arguments are passed. That is, it will return the same output for the same input. For example, the mathematical function sin 0 always results 0. This means that every time you call the function with the same argument, you will always get the same result. So what they are saying here is sin is an mathematical function. In that 0 argument is given, sin 0 is always going to be 0. That is, whenever we are using it, the value of sin 0 is always going to be 0. There is no change in that. Function we call it as pure function. So this type of function is called a pure function. That is passing the same arguments and the result will be the same. See one more example given here. Here we define the function called square. The input of this function going to be x and output of this function going to be product of x, that is multiplied twice. Now if I pass the value 5 in x, in this the return value I get 25. That in how many times I am calling function, in each I am giving 5 as an argument. The result is going to be 25. There is no change in it. This is called a pure function. And one more point is that while seeing this example, we have an idea that in this function there is no influence with other values and variables. So it is called a pure function. Now see the definition. A function can be a pure function provided it should not have any external variable which will alter the behavior of that variable. The explanation is, what they are saying is that there is no influence with other values and variables. So it is called a pure function. Let us see an example. See, in this square function have only one parameter. When I call this function with the argument of 3, this function will execute the square value print of x into x. For times I call this function, all the 4 times it will return the same solution only. The solution is not going to be changed. So it is called pure function. When I run this program, see all the 4 times it will return the solution 9 only. So this is an example for pure function. Now let's see advantage of having a pure function. See this paragraph. There are various theoretical advantages of having a pure functions. One advantage is that if a function is pure, then if it is several times with the same arguments. The compiler only needs to actually call the function once. So what are they explaining here is, in how many times you are calling the function, the compiler will call the function only once. That is, several times with the same arguments, the compiler only needs to actually call the function once. That is, here less compilation time they are explaining. Now see the example. Let's I colon equal to 0 semicolon if I is less than strlen. In that the argument is passed yes, then do something which doesn't affect yes, and then we are using the incremental operator. So what the algorithm is explained here is, here string function we are using, we already know this function and one argument is given to the function yes. For example, I am passing an argument called hello, hello. Then the output of the function is going to be, return value is 5 because we have 5 character hello. So the output is of the function is 5 because here we are using if statement. So no issue because only one time it's going to execute. Suppose if we having loop, that loop will execute repeated number of times. So here I have used the while and condition. For example, if you are using while loop means the starting value given is I equal to 0 and each time the value of I incremented by 1 and string length is 5. Function output will be what? 5 only. And while loop will be executed 5 times, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When 5 comes, condition will be failed. So when each time we are executing this condition, and here strlen is a pure function and the argument will be same hello. So compiler will call the function only one time, and so even using the loop function will be repeated. The strlen function only once we are calling, and how many times the block will be executed, that not considered. So this is one of the main point to be remembered. So this, let's see an example. See, in the string function, my string is welcome. I am checking the string length with variable of I. Here this I variable is not going to affect the variable of string length function. So just it is simply comparing with string length only. Due to this I, it not going to affect. So always this string length of function going to be return the same solution only. This I variable, this we are reading the external memory variable. This external memory variable not affecting the function variable. See, when I run the program, is going to show the same output only. So due to the external variable, the function value not affected. Now let's move to next page, page number 5. Here in previous page, what example that we have discussed, that only explained here. Let's go through it. If it is compiled string length, that is strlen, in that argument is passed is yes, is called each time, and string length needs to iterate over the whole of yes. The compiler is smart enough to work out the string length is a pure function and that yes is not updated in the loop, then it can remove the redundant extra calls to string length and make the loop to execute only one time. From this, what we can understand, string length is a pure function because the function takes one variable as a parameter and accesses to find its length. This function reads external memory but does not change it, and the value returned derives from the external memory accessed. So this is what we have seen in previous example, that only explained in this paragraph. And mark this, one more important point is given. Evaluation of pure function does not cause any side effects to its output. In how many times we are giving the same input, that function going to return same output only. So there is no change in the output. So pure function does not cause any side effects to its output. Clear?